Holy crap, ladies and gentlemen, what a month it has been. I mean, well, I don't know if that's true, but I'm just going to say it is because crazy stuff happened. Goodness, we've been kind of sketched up for about a month now, right, guys?
What is sketched up mean?
Yeah, I was just about to say, I guess,
you know
I'm
what?
not really sure what you were implying by that.
Like, sketchy, you know? Like we talked about this.
It sounds
we
like like someone else made us sketchy. Like someone was threatening us in our personal lives, so we...
It sounds like somebody was making caricatures of us, actually.
What are you talking about, Tim? We get
like when you go to the boardwalk at the beach and
I do,
pay like $50 for a picture of you with a huge nose.
All right, fine.
It's like, yeah,
but anyway, we touched on this. We did a pure hangout a couple nights ago. I guess it was on Monday the 13th or something. Oh, I got that right. Yeah, we did a pure hangout. Very little Bitcoin. We talked about coffee and peanuts and guitars. Not just coffee, but nitrogenated coffee. And I don't even know. All kinds of stuff. Branding. We had a pretty good discussion about branding and image and stuff. I don't know. We just wanted to experiment, have some fun. I don't know. It's like we're going through adolescence trying to experiment with all kinds of stuff. So that's what we did. But anyway, isn't that what you do in adolescence? You experiment?
You might have done that.
Maybe, yeah, Daniel. What exactly kind of experiments were done at a younger age?
I thought
everybody did that.
Yeah, I don't know. All right.
I mean, we dissected stuff in school.
Yeah.
No, the thing is, Daniel, actually did, experiments with himself. He, wouldn't piss for, 2 days and then see what would happen.
Yeah, that was it. That's it. I did that.
What he was doing.
Once a week. All right. No, where was I going with that? We touched on the last month in that hangout, but it's not part of the regular podcast feed, so we'll just say again that, yes, things were pretty crazy for the last month. I was out of town, and we missed 1 or 2 weeks, and then there were 1 or 2 weeks that were a few days late, and then the last episode did go out on Thursday, but it was recorded a month earlier. So yeah, it was a crazy few weeks. Oh, and then of course there was the episode, which go find episode 125 if you want to hear the episode. I'm surprised we didn't get more hate mail on that one. We did get 2 thumbs down on YouTube, but
wait, why would we get hate mail for that?
Well, not hate mail, but more just comments is this... Well, I guess we did. Somebody commented on YouTube and was like, guys, can you please stop saying okay? Please stop saying all right? It's like a disease. And somebody on
I mean, they're right about that.
Yeah. Somebody on Twitter was he said all right, he commented on Twitter and he was just is this serious about Trump? I mean, if so,
is that
Trump...
the thing you said to me? He's like, where are you getting this Trump
quote?
Oh,
you're right. There were 2.
Do you think we would make something up about that?
Yeah, there were 2.
That's ridiculous. I'm actually offended that this man would criticize my integrity. No, not even attack my credentials as a news reporter person, sir.
On Twitter, shut up. On Twitter, someone was like...
Come at me in real life.
On Twitter, someone was like, is that a real quote? Or where did you get that quote? And then somebody commented on our website, and they're like, is that true? If so, Trump seems pretty cool. So, anyway, I guess we'll just go...
As if that was enough to make him cool. And also, what... People...
He uses Bitcoin!
Why do people ask about quotes? They are literally on the internet.
I know, if you just Google it.
You can go... Your homepage is probably Google. It's going to take you 1 button click to get there, and then you can type it in. And typing in, Trump Bitcoin quote is probably shorter than the comment that you typed.
I'm supposed to teach a class at work sometime in the next, month about HTML and CSS. And the number 1 point that I'm going to make is frickin' Google it. It still baffles me. There's people at my work that run websites, and they don't know a single line of CSS. They're literally, it's their website, they're in charge, they're the site directors, and they don't know a single line of CSS. Drives me crazy. So, but all I have to teach him is to Google it.
Because it's like color, red.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm going to say. And I'm just going to say, listen, if you want to do something, if you want more space in between these two paragraphs, just frickin' Google it. Anyway, I digress. I hate that phrase, but I do. All right. Anyway, we are back from the dead. Hopefully, as long as I don't actually die, then this should be another regular Thursday episode, and by Thursday episode, I kind of mean like Friday 1 a.m. episode, but that's regular for us.
And if you do die, everyone will realize that this is the podcast that took us 6 minutes to get into, where you still haven't introduced the host.
Oh, right.
But anyway, it'll be very, very special whenever Daniel's in the grave. This was our last final episode. His final gift to the world before he passed on to enrich the next with his podcasting abilities.
I thought his passing on was his final gift.
Oh, speaking of taking 6 minutes to get to the actual show, and also speaking of feedback, somebody left us a review on our app, our Android app. It's ymb.tc/app. If anybody wants to find it and put it on their Android app, you can get the podcast and the Twitter and the ultimate Bitcoin calculator converter
right to your phone.
Yeah, you can. ymb.tc/app. But somebody left a review on Android and was like, I love these people. I listen to them all the time, except when I'm in the hospital. It's just straight content without all the fluff. And I was like, without the fluff? Where are you getting that from? I mean, don't get me wrong. It was a 5-star review. I'm completely serious, grateful. We love feedback, good or bad. Obviously, good is better. Like, I'm so glad that he left a review. I'm not trying to make fun of you, but there is lots of fluff in here. So, well, it depends how you define fluff.
Yeah.
Like, if you're defining fluff as like barely Bitcoin related, yeah, we got quite a bit of that. If you're defining fluff as like poor content, like not entertaining, we never have that. We're always entertaining. 100% of 100% of our episodes are entertaining. So yeah, there's no fluff there.
I agree with him. It really is. I think
it really is what, Tim?
It's amazing.
All right, but anyway, for all of you trolls out there who want to comment on YouTube and tell people how far you have to click to get past all the fluff, right here is where you can put that marker. I am Daniel Brown, and I'm here with
Tim Baker
and John Stewart.
And we really suck at teasers. Like, we should... I mean, it's fine to put 5 or 6 minutes of fluff in there, but we should, in the first 30 seconds, we should say, hey, today we're going to talk about credit card rewards and probably car registration, because that's the only way we're going to keep people around. So
no, I think we need to start it out and be like, did you see what this man's wife said to him?
Yeah. We'll do clickbait.
Listen forward to hear what this man had to say about this puppy being on his lawn.
If it's called clickbait,
this
when
puppy
you post
loves
it on
Bitcoin. Listen to what he has to say.
Honestly, Tim?
Yes.
Honestly?
Yeah.
If it's called clickbait when you put it on Facebook, is it listen bait when you put it at the beginning of a podcast? I guess so.
What were you talking about? Why were you getting mad at me for saying stupid shit whenever you're going to say that afterwards?
No, it wasn't because you were saying. It wasn't because you were saying stupid shit. It's because you were talking and I was trying to talk.
Normally, when people get mad at people for interrupting, it's because they have something more important to say.
All right. Fair enough.
That was so funny.
Anyway, so teaser, credit cards, and maybe car registration. Here we go. John, why won't you get a credit card?
Oh, I mean, I didn't say that I wouldn't get one, but I don't have one.
So you just nuked our whole show. You just nuked our whole show.
I guess the reason why I don't have one and why I may not get one is because I don't feel like it. I have no...
Too lazy?
Yeah, I guess.
Are you worried about your credit score?
I mean, no, because I have loans to pay off.
Good answer. Well, okay. That's another whole topic we can get into, is whether credit score even matters. But let's just stay with getting a credit card for now. What aren't you missing out on one All right. how much money have you spent on your debit card in the past 3 months? How much? Just a ballpark guess, obviously.
I have no idea even as a ballpark guess.
Okay, would you say like $50 or like $500?
In the last 3 months, probably neither. Maybe
what?
You said $50 or $500. Neither.
And it's more than that. It's more than that, right?
No.
No?
No, it's probably less than that.
Are you serious?
Less than $500 and more than $50.
Well, yeah. Yeah, duh. I was asking which one was closer to.
Daniel's getting
Which one was closer to? Probably neither. It's probably...
Oh. Well, that's
the way
that's
you asked this question was
impossible. Answer the question.
How is that mathematically impossible?
It has to, unless it's like right smack split in the middle, it has to be closer to one or the other.
Oh, so you're throwing out numbers like 50 and 500, and you like... What if it's like one closer to another one, and you want me to say that it's closer to one than the other by like $1? I don't know.
That's the whole point of going ballpark instead of exact. That's what the definition means. You can round pretty far.
Does it? Is it like the ballpark?
Well, then I can round to the middle, so it's whatever's exactly in the middle.
There we go. Let's call it 250 or 275
It's
or whatever.
not even in the middle, you fool.
So here's the thing.
Is it higher?
That means that in the past 3 months, you've lost out on approximately $2.75 worth of credit card rewards. Aren't you? Like, you know what you could do with $2.75?
I could not buy back the time that it would take me to waste on getting a credit card.
It doesn't take that long. It's pretty quick if you just sign up for it.
Yeah, so
online.
Actually, I'm with you both there. John, 275 is hardly worth. Oh crap! Now I feel like I'm on Tim's whole change tip thing, but look for our change tip episodes if you want to have some fun debates about 275 or less.
Yeah, your change tip donations to Ross Ulbricht aren't helping.
I agree, John. 275 is hardly anything. It's barely worth trying to get. But personally, I spend quite a bit more on my cards, and my card has a 5% thing in certain categories. So it varies, but I might get like $10, $15 a month in rewards. Well, maybe even more, because I buy a crap ton of plane flights. Holy crap. I've probably spent like at least $1,000 on plane flights in the past month. So that's $10 right there, and sometimes it's 5%. So anyway, the point is, okay, let me back up. I recognize like you might not get a ton of rewards, it's not that big a deal. But let's say you did get a decent amount of rewards. Let's say you were paying your rent with your credit card and all of your gas with your credit card, and you had an hour commute or something. Are you okay? And I guess you kind of said this at the beginning, but I want to know more details. Are you okay with getting a credit card, or are you against it? Because I know the reason I bring this up is because there's people like Dave Ramsey who are like, listen, I guarantee you, I swear to God, if you have a credit card, you will spend more money, and those rewards will not pay you back. I mean, they're just completely hardcore and adamant, like credit card, even a debit card, it's a complete joke. You have to use cash. You have to put it in envelopes, and one envelope is for groceries, and one envelope is for eating out or whatever. Like I don't know. Are you on board with that, or what? I just want to get some general opinions.
No, about... I think it can be done right, and like for some people, I think I know a guy who he does a lot of stuff with credit cards. Like he has a bunch of credit cards, and he keeps track of what he's spending them on and all this stuff. And he also has like a Costco membership and buys all this stuff at Costco. And basically, like what he was telling me, they feed other people a lot. Like have people over their house a lot, and so Costco is worth it. And he said like pretty much at the end of every year, Costco pays him $100 because he's buying food for other people. So it's like he's spending more than most people would. So that's not going to work for everybody. But I mean, there are things like that where like having something that like that can like benefit you a lot. I think if you're like,
you just have to be smart about it. You can't just pick any. A lot of people just get a bunch of different cards and just rack up money.
I know some people. It's not really because of credit cards, but I know people who just don't care about their money and don't pay attention, and they never have money. And I agree that's a awful thing to do, and it's bad for you, and it's bad for those around you because I'm around you, and it's kind of annoying. Sorry, I'm not bitter about that. All right.
Yeah, my roommate's like that. Remember, like, he has money, but he has like a couple thousand in credit card debt.
Well, I got to ask this question. Where do those rewards come from? Let's say you do get some kind of benefit from having credit card rewards or having plastic or whatever. Where do those rewards come from? I mean, shouldn't it be kind of expected that if those rewards have to come from somewhere, which means you must be losing money somewhere in the black hole, and they give you a fraction of it back as rewards. Like where's that money coming from? And if we don't know, shouldn't we be arguing that, well, you must, like the credit card companies wouldn't exist if they weren't making money, so you must be losing money if you're using a credit card. Any thoughts on that? Where does it come from?
I mean, there's two things mainly, probably. I mean, there's fees that you're always paying, and the other thing is, I think it's
right. Yeah, no, hang on. Stop there. Hold that thought because I want to know what you're going to say. But
how about
you
let me finish before you talk?
Is it related to fees? Because I want to go off on fees right now.
No, but I think it's like...
All right, go. All right,
maybe
go,
a point that's worth... I don't know.
All right, because you're not Tim, I'll let you go.
Well...
Fuck.
I don't even know what to say after that. No, I mean, the other thing is like... I think in some ways it's similar to how insurance works, where they're like banking on the fact that some people are going to be paying interest, whereas like an insurance company is banking on the fact that some people are not going to have accidents.
Okay, all right, that's fair enough. Like with insurance, like you're right. On average, you have to lose money to insurance, or else the insurance companies wouldn't exist. So on average, yes, you're going to lose money to insurance, but the benefit is that you know what to expect. You know what your payment is going to be every month or every 6 months or every year or whatever. And yeah, on average, you're going to lose a little bit, but it's always expected. And if something crazy happens, it's still expected because your rates, you still pay the same amount. I mean, your premiums can go up and whatever, but you still pay an acceptable monthly amount instead of paying, like $6,000 all of a sudden whenever you never expected it. So yes, on average you lose money, but it gives you security. I'm kind of okay with that. Like, that's what insurance is for. That's how it works. With credit cards, here's the thing. I worked a drive-through for multiple years in my life, and I promise you that credit cards have an immense value, okay? They are so fast.
Well, that's not what I was talking about. I was talking about the perspective of the actual credit card company. For them, it's the same thing as an insurance company. It's a calculated risk.
No, I know that. Yeah, for them, you're right. It's a calculated risk, and they make money because some people pay interest and pay them money. I get that. But I'm talking about for me. I mean, for insurance, I'm willing to averagely lose money, I guess, because I have monthly security, regular monthly payments. For credit cards, I was trying to ask the question, what's the benefit? If I'm not going to pay interest, what's the benefit to me to using credit cards? I guess the rewards have a little bit of benefit, but where I was going is the convenience is a massive benefit. I'm sorry, Dave Ramsey. I know you don't agree with me, but like I said, I worked a drive-through for multiple years, and golly gee willikers, those people counting their money drove me freaking crazy. Me counting the change, like obviously you do it for years, you get good at it, and it still took forever compared to the literally a second and a half it takes to swipe a card. I'm sorry. Credit cards have a benefit. I believe it. And this, I meant to mention this at the beginning, like, a lot of our audience probably disagrees with me. A lot of our audience probably hates credit cards. They probably even hate Bitcoin credit cards or debit cards or whatever. But I'm sorry. I see an immense value there. I recognize that they're expensive.
I mean, I have 2 debit cards and I get the same convenience.
True. Do you get rewards on those cards?
No, so that's the only thing that you can say.
Well, see, that's another thing is I have a PayPal debit card and it still pays me 1%. So you can have the rewards without even risking interest, without really having credit. You can still get rewards, and that is solely because you get 1% back solely because they charge a 3.75% fee or whatever. I just picked that number out of thin air. But what that brings us to a whole nother question where the credit card companies charge X fee and they give 1% or a fraction of that back simply because they charge the fee. Like what do you guys think of that? Is that a poor business practice? Where someone, let's say I charge you, okay, let's say I'm selling you widgets and widgets are worth $20. But let's say I say, oh, I'll charge you $25, but hey, you'll get $4 back. I know that's the free market. Like if people do it, then they're idiots and they do it. So are we idiots for paying the 3.75% fee and getting 1% back?
Probably, but doesn't it feel good?
I mean, all right. That's a funny answer, but not really helpful. John, any thoughts?
I'm pretty much with Tim, actually.
So you're okay with losing money just because it feels good?
I don't have a credit card. Are you okay with losing money because it feels good?
That's a good question. Who asked that question? That's a good question. I don't know the answer. I really don't know because here's the tough part. Yes, I'm not saying this is, well, all right. Yeah, that's pretty much how it works. That where they charge $25 and they give you $4 back for something that really should sell for $20. That's pretty much what it is. Any disagreements there? Okay. All right, good. None. So let's assume that that's just a fact. I mean, there could be some nuances and arguments, whatever, but let's just assume that that's a fact. My options as a consumer are to accept that model and to pay the 3.75% fee and to get 1% back, or I can use cash. And when I use cash, guess what? I'm still paying the 3.75% fee because everyone else uses a credit card. And so the merchant, because all right, I have to take a step back again. Apologies. This is a little disconcerted or disorganized, whatever.
It's also disconcerting.
When I say that I pay the 3.75% fee and I get 1% back, I don't actually pay that fee. The merchant pays that fee. Okay, so McDonald's pays that fee, and I get 1% of it back. But obviously, McDonald's they don't just pay that fee out of pocket. Like, oh, sure, I didn't need that money anyway. Yeah, here you go, credit card company. Take this 3.75% and do what you want with it. No, they have to make that money back, and so naturally, just like any business, expenses go into the price. So when I say that I pay a 3.75% fee, technically McDonald's pays it, but it still gets passed on to me, all right? So what that means is, even if I pay cash, or if I pay cash, I am losing 3.75% instead of losing 2.75%. Before I go, I don't know. I hardly even know what my question is anymore, but I just want to know if that tracks and if you think that's good or bad. Am I making sense here?
I mean, yeah, I get that, and
I've
been thinking that the whole time. And, like, you saying that kind of just reveals that what you were saying before is like a straw man about it being better than, or cash being better, or whatever.
Wait. What's the straw man?
Like, the whole argument you were making before about cash being better because you're not paying the fee.
Was I arguing that?
I mean, you were saying that this is the argument that people against credit cards make.
So the argument they make is that you don't pay the fee if you use cash, but they do. So are you saying, like, there's no benefit to using cash, so you should use a credit card? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying, like, you went through the whole thing where you were saying, oh, this thing costs $20, or it should cost $20. Because you're using a credit card, you pay $25 and you get $4 back. But if you use cash, like...
You still pay $25 or $24 or something,
but
right?
But what I'm saying is, I guess the whole thing that you went through before is, like, now you're just revealing it as a straw man.
I'm still lost. I'm sorry, but if I'm lost, maybe our audience is, so I gotta ask. I still don't know what the straw man is.
Tim, do you get what I'm saying?
I'd say just repeat it.
I mean, I was just saying the whole thing of him having to go through the talking about the $20, paying $25 and getting $4 back was, like, in a sense, pointless.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I know what you're saying, but my argument there was that credit cards, when I was making that straw man argument, I was saying that some people that credit cards must be bad because it's like paying $21, or no, it's like paying $21 for something that you should get for $20 if you pay $25 and they give you $4 back. It's like paying $21 for something that's worth $20. And this isn't my argument, but the idea there was that credit cards must be stupid then. And if you're saying that that's a straw man argument, then that's why I'm asking. Well, if it's a straw man argument to argue against credit cards, then are you saying that you should get a credit card because you're going to pay the fee anyway? Is that what you're getting down to?
No.
Okay, so then I'm okay with that, but then I need more details. Why should I not get a credit card if I'm paying $21 or $25 either way?
I don't care if you get a credit card. I guess like what I was saying before, it's just that I don't care that much. And my dad is, like, not really into credit cards, and that's probably part of it, like, an influence on me. But, like, one thing that he's always said to me is that his goal is to make as much money as possible and spend as little as possible. And the reason for that is because if you do that, you will never worry about money. And other people, like, people who don't approach money with that, like, mentality are always thinking about money. People who don't make as much money as they could or who spend more than they should, all they're thinking about, they're just worrying about it. And, like, I just don't want to have to think about it.
It's it's a zen in discipline.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is you're willing to pay $21 with cash and to not get the rewards. So maybe even then you could say you're willing to pay $25 with cash and to not get the $4 reward. $4 is a little disproportionate, but I'm going to stick with it because that's what we've been saying. So what you're saying is you're willing to spend $25 and not get the $4 reward because it's more straightforward, it's more convenient for you, it's more understandable for you, it's more comfortable for you, and maybe you're spending a little bit more, but you know what's going on, you're not worried about it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I mean, all the other things about spending more with a credit card and stuff like that are also true. Not that I think that makes, like, credit cards such a ripoff, but, like, my reasons for not wanting it, it's not like there's one reason why I don't have a credit card. It's just a bunch of little things that add up. It's like I don't need a reason to want to spend more money, and I don't want to think about money.
Right. I mean, that's fair enough. I definitely am okay with the idea of spending more money, just which takes us all the way back to you, Tim, where you're like, well, because it feels good. Well, I'm completely okay with spending a little bit more money just to feel better about yourself, to feel more secure and whatever. I'm totally okay with that. But for me, my security, like I get for some people, security comes from it comes from not having any kind of debt and from not having to make payments and stuff like that. For me, for the time being anyway, I'm able to have a credit card and I still don't really have debt because I can afford to pay it off every month. And even if you could argue that, oh, you are spending more, I mean, I can kind of afford that too. I mean, because it's not a lot more, because I'm still pretty conservative and pretty conscious about my money. Like, okay, even if you definitely wanted to argue that I'm spending more because I have a piece of plastic, well, I can kind of afford that. And so for me, I get security because I get the rewards and I'm not worried really about going into debt because I pay them off all the time. I don't even pay them off every month. I pay them off like 3 times a month. I like check every few days and I just make a payment just because. So
see, the one issue that there is with that is that, like, if you spend more money but you get these rewards back, you can't say that you weren't missing opportunities where you could have invested somewhere that would have actually been more profitable to you and would have required less work.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I'm not saying that I'm making more money by having a credit card. I'm saying that I feel more comfortable because I don't know about those investments. But I mean, obviously there are some investments that I do know about, like Bitcoin, and I'm willing to put X amount of money into Bitcoin. So obviously it's like it's risk analysis. You put a little bit of money wherever you want to put a little bit of money. But for me, a certain amount of security comes from knowing that I'll get that 1% back. And, if I put that, let's say I spend 5% more just by having plastic. If I put that 5% of my spendings into a 401k, I'm sorry, I don't even know if I want a 401k. I don't think I would ever trust a 401k because I would not be able to touch that money for 30 freaking years without paying a 10% fee or whatever, or maybe I'm talking about an IRA. It doesn't matter. What I'm saying is, I get yes, maybe I'm not getting returns on my money, but I get a certain amount of security from saying, well, hey, at least I'm getting these rewards back, and I at least for the time being, I'm not worried about paying interest or going into debt or anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not trying to convince you to not have a credit card. I guess that's where the whole straw man thing comes in, because I feel like I'm being painted as trying to tell you to not have a credit card.
John, quit yelling at these people for having credit cards. The way I stand is I agree with John, and I didn't have a credit card until about 7 months ago now. And I had to get, right now it's not really hard for me to pay for it ever because I have a secured credit card where I just put money into an account and that's a lot of credit I have. It's not like an actual credit card. So, it's not that hard. It's not that much of a danger, but, kind of the points won me over with a credit card, making it easier for me to buy stuff online, like places that wouldn't accept PayPal. I was seeing places like that, and I was like, I want to be able to buy something without, I couldn't without using somebody else's credit card. So yeah, it's just one way for me to waste more of my money, but again, that's about me being happier, so that's the same thing. The only thing different with me was that I can carry around a credit card and say I want to have money on me, I can just carry around a credit card. If I drop that, oh no, I don't have a credit card for like a week. And then any charge that gets charged on there, I just go, I didn't have it.
Yeah. They do have.
I almost got it just for the reason to on the. I mean, I've lost my wallet twice. I only had the credit card.
What the heck?
I only had the credit card in there once, but I was trying. I really wasn't. I dropped outside of a mall, so I'm going to just go on a spree. But it was just like on the off chance it gets stolen, then discovered it gets stuck with like a $3,000 bill. And good for them. I mean, whatever.
It's true. I mean,
more people should do that.
We love Bitcoin. Yeah, we love Bitcoin, and most Bitcoiners hate credit cards and hate the banks. But it is true
is that true that they hate credit cards?
I think a lot of them do.
Yeah.
Actually, this also reminds me of the Dollar Vigilante. Whenever I used to read that stuff. Yeah, well, we like putting those up. But the Dollar Vigilante would talk about, like, it's not the most, like, the nicest thing to do, but because they were always talking about, like, there's going to be a collapse, and they're, like, predicting it. They're like, you just need to realize when it is, and then just when it's going to come, and then jack your credit card bills all the way up to the limit, just buying just random shit. And then you'll get a lot of free shit, but just make sure you don't do that and then miss the collapse. Or the collapse goes on a little bit longer and you get thrown into prison.
So I know that I ranted quite a bit and I had some trouble understanding John, and I still don't, it was a good discussion. That's what I'm trying to say is I don't know if we...
sound like it.
He sounds like he's like, I'm really angry at John right now. It didn't make any sense, but we're just going to agree to disagree right now.
No, I was being serious. Like, we said a lot of things there that were pretty good to talk about. And the only caveat is, like, I'm actually pretty comfortable with my conclusion that, I just get a certain level of security from knowing that I'll get rewards, and I'm not really risking spending interest. And so really, for me, the bulk of those rewards come from other people paying interest. Sorry, guys, but I'm going to profit off of you if I can.
That was also, I was like, I might as well get involved with it because it's mostly going on everybody else, so I might as well. I'll be a leech.
Right. Okay.
Society gives me a way to do it. I'll do it.
Point is, I really did like this discussion, and I'm relatively comfortable with my conclusion. I do want to briefly touch on car registration because, well, there's a certain... It is related really tangentially, so we'll get there in a second. I just want to say, like I said, a lot of Bitcoiners might hate credit cards, and I want to know what you think. If you hate us for even suggesting that you should get a credit card, go to youmeandbtc.com and leave us a comment on this episode number 127. Yeah, I don't know. Just tell us what you think. If you think we're absolutely bonkers, then tell us. If you're on YouTube, leave a comment there, whatever. Tweet us at youmeandbtc. Now, I want to talk about car registration for kind of a similar reason. Like I said, Bitcoiners, well, not really Bitcoiners, so maybe Liberty lovers often don't like credit cards and don't like the banks, whatever. And they think you should stay as far out of the system as you can. You should use cash because they can track credit cards, stuff like that. It's harder. Not as many people adhere to this because it's hard to go around without a car registration. But probably just as many people argue that, man, you really should avoid car registration and licensing, and like, if you have an out-of-state license, just keep it and use it, even though they technically say that you should transfer your license when you move or whatever. Okay. There's a lot of similar people that argue that, I should just tell the story real quick. Well, I could tell the whole story about how much of a pain it was to get registered and to get a license and stuff, which, some of you know I've moved to Arizona recently. I don't need to tell the story about how much of a pain the government is. Everyone already knows how much the DMV sucks. What I'm wondering right now is, am I being insufficiently supportive of liberty because I made a pretty decent effort to get registered, you know, as soon as my old registration expired. I gave it a week or two, and I'm just like, listen, I have friends who drove without registration for over a year or for at least several months, and technically I could have gotten away with it, maybe, but honestly, I didn't want to confront a cop about it. I didn't want to pay any fines. I didn't want to get unnecessarily pulled over. And I mean, some people hate this word, but honestly, I was just scared. And what I want to know is, am I being too fearful, and am I being unsupportive of liberty because I tried to get registered pretty quick and I didn't want to deal with any of the consequences of being unregistered? Go, guys.
Yes, Daniel, you gave up a perfect opportunity for civil disobedience. It would have shown the light to so many people. The cop would have eventually turned to liberty and quit his job eventually and quit harassing people for money. The judge who took your case would also be like, I should stop doing this. And then all the people on the jury, because somehow I don't know what you would get, maybe not, but they'd all be like, oh man, this man's amazing. He stands for what America means. And we love him, so we will all not be paying our taxes this year. Fuck you, federal government. No, it does nothing. Like, I drove around without a license for, like, it literally, like, it's not doing anything. Like, that, your thing is a little bit, like, it's different than mine. Like, they could look it up and, I guess, see that you're not registered. But it's just something
actually,
that
I literally,
they're probably not going to. But
no, stop. Literally, like,
Why?
5 minutes before the show, and I told you this, Tim, I had a letter from my insurance, and it said, hey, the state of Arizona has told us that your VIN is not registered with them. So they are looking it up, and they are reporting it to the insurance people and stuff.
No, but I'm talking like a cop actually following you, Daniel, because they're not actually...
Okay.
They're probably not going to... It's only if he runs your plates, but it's...
Yeah.
Most likely it's a problem if he pulls you over, and that's... But it's not, like, it doesn't help anything. All it ever does is make a possibly bad situation worse. Like, there's no reason to do it besides be like, well, officer, I don't believe I have, well, I don't give a fuck, son.
Okay. So I'm completely okay with your argument that you should, I completely accept your argument that driving around without a registration doesn't necessarily promote liberty. Like, who's really going to know? Who's really going to see? What?
No,
like,
plenty of people are going to see, but nobody cares.
Okay, yeah, fine. I accept that point, that it doesn't make any difference with regards to promoting liberty. But I want to know more about the fear. Like, is it bad to be afraid?
No.
Because there are a lot of people that will say, like, it's dumb to live in fear, or pro-liberty people who would say, like, listen, yeah, it's the state. Yeah, they have a crap ton of power, but I'm not going to live in fear of them. And am I letting them get away with it? Am I letting them govern my life because I'm afraid of them?
A lot of those people, you also have to realize, make their entire living off of an image they put forward of not being scared of the police, which also negates. In the United States, it's not like the police are going to kill you, probably, if you're a person who...
What?
Shut up.
What?
If you're not... Daniel, if you're a person...
Have you ever been on the internet, Tim?
Who has a public image...
Oh, yeah, because I have a public image.
No one getting beat to death, who has, like, an active podcast, something like that, is getting beat to death and killed. Because generally someone who is
How the hell are they supposed to know that I have an active podcast?
Because if you're going to start... The only reason to start doing something like this is where you're doing it for civil disobedience. And that civil disobedience, especially with something like a car, is not going to be seen by anyone unless you broadcast it. And they're not going to get pulled over or bothered or just kind of... Like, you're just not going to do something or be in this... People get killed by police. It's fucked up, yes, but a lot of times it's in situations where people shouldn't be in the first place. Like... they're still not doing their job right. They're still fucking up their job. But someone who has unless you're like rushing in with a video camera, and also Daniel, you're just the right color too. It's a little bit harder. I mean, you still get killed, but it's less likely. You're a computer person. What do
Honestly,
you do? Where are you on the street at like 2 a.m. in the morning where a cop's like, I might have to kill this kid? He's like, this kid might fall over.
Yeah, in his Hawaiian t-shirt.
Yeah, and sandals. Yeah. He's been drinking Everclear since 7.
I think you both have probably seen this. I don't know for sure. But I keep a rubber ducky on my dashboard just because it makes me look more innocent. So, and it's worked once before. I got not guilty. So,
but I think you definitely should be afraid, because what you should be afraid of in America, like, yeah, the cops could kill you. They're more likely to kill you than the terrorists. That's also including numbers from people they kill who are like holding people hostage though. So, but yeah, you might get killed. But what's more scary for you or for me is that you're going to get put in jail. It's going to fuck up your ability to get a job, possibly. It might not. But again, depending on who you're working for and if you're working. But also it takes you away from your job, and it's just a cost that you don't want to deal with, where someone who's an activist can get that shit funded. They're like, I got arrested, send me money now. And people are like, yeah. You're doing so much. I mean...
It's really it sucks that society is like this, but I think I can accept that, where, because I am white, and because I most of the time I wear a polo and I look somewhat professional or something, then, or even if I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt, shirt is, which I love Hawaiian shirts, but yeah, even if I was, that's really different than wearing my pants around my ankles and a gold chain around my neck and everything.
I wasn't even meaning that.
I'm not saying...
not an imposing figure.
Hold on. I'm not saying that every cop judges these things, and I'm certainly not saying that these things should be judged, but I think it's pretty acceptable that I can be less afraid because of those things. And what you're saying, Tim, or I'm asking if this is what you're saying, is that because I can be less fearful of being judged in those ways, then that means what's more fearful, I'm not so afraid of getting killed, but I am afraid of going to prison, getting my job ruined. Probably my family would be pretty upset about a lot of those circumstances and stuff. And so you're saying because of that slightly different balance of fears, then I should get registered because I'm more afraid of going to prison and stuff like that.
You might as well. We're slaves, so we might just, because you have, don't let them take more money from you, because the only way out of the trap is just to make more money, so then you can just pay them off. So that's the goal. It's just to give the government the least amount of money.
That's another thing I wanted to touch on, is I did have to pay to get registered and to get a license.
Yeah.
Is that anti-liberty of me?
Again, no one's going to see that it's over date and be like,
I'm not talking about ideologically. I mean, I'm literally giving them money, the state. Is that...
Yeah, what are you supposed to do if you want to drive your car around? Dan, they own you. They have to do this stuff just to get money from you. They have to keep track of you. They have to keep track of what you're driving. They have to do this. They're not going to let you get away with not doing it. You're on their roads. Cops, half the time, at least around where I live, don't have anything to do besides just run people's plates. I got pulled over in a trail, pulling lawnmowers, not because anything was bad on that, but because the license, we hadn't put the new one on the back of the trailer yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I get, now that I think of it, it kind of makes sense in case it was bad, but the thing looks structurally intact, and we had all the chains on and everything, but still she pulled us over. But it's not doing anything good, because you're not going to indefinitely not do it.
Yeah,
you're going to do it at some point whenever you have to get inspection, or else they're going to be like, fuck you, and you're going to get this rusted car you can't, it's just going to break down.
My biggest argument would just be that it's, there are a lot of ways to promote liberty. There are a lot of ways to commit civil disobedience. But when it comes to car registration, I'm sorry, but you drive around every day. They're going to catch you, and they're going to slap you with a fine. And it's going to be really hard to really, put any activism into it. Like, you're right, Tim. Not many people see it. Not many people care. So that, I mean, I guess that would be my biggest argument for saying, like, hey, you might as well just get registered, because you're going to have to eventually, like you just said, and it is something that you do every day and that they watch every day. So it's one of the highest risk things, and it's just not that big a, like, you're not going to draw that much attention. Like, hey, look at me. Oh my gosh, I drove for 2 months without a registration. Yeah, down with the state, guys. Like, yeah, you're right, Tim. I agree with you. I was just asking the question if I was maybe being insane. I don't know, John. Any additional thoughts or points?
I mean, we did a whole episode on civil disobedience, didn't we? And it's like,
wait, did we? With regards to what? What kind of civil disobedience? I think
the whole thing was that I was basically making the argument that, what argument was I making? I have to try to remember this. It was something along the lines of like there's like people get like guilt tripped into feeling like they have to like do civil disobedience at like every opportunity or something. It was something like that. Like, I guess there's like a guilt in it or something, and that there shouldn't be. Like, most people who are in Liberty are just normal people, and like you can't be like, oh well, like some guy who does this for his living, he tells me that he's got to go out, that I've got to go out and do all this stuff, and like, yeah, well, most people can't afford to do that, and it's just not worth it. And also, again, like with the guilt thing, like I don't think it doesn't help the liberty cause if people are like accusing each other of not being like liberty enough. If people are just like fighting over this, liberty. Yeah, you don't do enough civil disobedience. You got your car registered. Like, how does that help anything?
Yeah,
I mean, you could say, I guess, like, I wouldn't have done that, or like, here's the reasons why maybe you shouldn't have gotten your car registered or whatever. But like, calling people out on it and like, I don't know. It's like the Inquisition. Like, we don't need that.
Don't you know liberty's a competition?
Yeah, we don't need an Inquisition.
Yeah, we do. We need a purging. We need only the real liberty left. No, if you really want to make a difference, find someone who's willing to forge your plates for you and just go completely off the grid, and then just somehow figure out how to do that. Do that and then sell that to other people, and do that with the money that you save from not getting tickets for getting pulled over because some cop's bored and he feels like running you and then giving you a ticket for it. And then sell that to everyone, and then you'll actually do something. That's also my advice for the night.
All right.
Oh, crap. I forgot we have to do advice. It's been so long.
It's true. It's true. It has been so long. I mean, yeah, we do need to do advice of the day. Or I guess in this case, it's like advice of the month. I guess I'll drop back to our first main topic about the credit cards and stuff. And I'll just say, well, the biggest advice I can give is to just be careful with your money. And whether that means getting a credit card, yeah, I mean, some people feel more comfortable and are able to be more careful with a credit card. It's more convenient, and if they can afford it, it's just, being comfortable is part of being careful, maybe, all right? It sounds like I'm talking about self-help, but it's kind of true. So, yeah, be comfortable, be careful. If you are awful with money, and if you know that you're going to spend a lot on a credit card and end up in the negatives, you got to recognize that. But also, if you know you're responsible and you could take advantage of people who pay interest. Oh, I sound terrible. Yeah, be careful with your money. Just conscious maybe. Comfortable, careful, and conscious. Now I'm really doing self-help. All right, just know what's going on. Try to do the best you can. That's my advice. Wow, the 3 C's of money. All right, John, what do you got for us?
I'm just going to restate my dad's advice that I said earlier. Just make as much as you can and spend as little as you can and worry about more important things.
There you go.
You could be doing a lot better things with your time than worrying
I don't know,
about
though.
money.
Like, we talked about this in our hangout the other night. Some people would argue that if you're trying to spend as little as possible, then you're too worried about it, right?
No, because I don't... Like, you asked me how much I've spent in the last month, and I don't know because I don't keep track of it because I know that I'm not spending more than I make.
All right. So you're comfortable because you're conscious, and therefore you're careful. So
it's not that I always buy the cheapest crap and like I live like a hobo.
An idea. He has an idea.
No, it's not even that. It's just that I don't spend money on things I don't need to.
Yeah, you do.
So
you do sometimes.
I mean, when I say need to, I'm using that loosely. If it's something that I really want, I'll buy it. But it's like I'm not just buying stuff for myself constantly just because on a whim.
So you're saying that
this was supposed to be a short, like, one-sentence advice, and you guys are just picking it apart.
No.
Yes.
I gotta ask more questions because I can't tell if I'm sensing circular logic or if I'm missing something. You're saying it sounded like you were saying spend as little as possible so that you don't worry. And to me, it sounds like, well, if you're worried about spending so little, then you are worried, right? If you're trying to spend as little as possible.
Daniel, you were just telling me about how you pay off your credit card bill like 3 times a month, and I just said I literally haven't looked at my bank account in the last month.
I know.
Because I know I'm under budget. Do not tell me that I worry about it more than you do.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I wasn't finished. I was going to make a counterpoint to my own point just so I could confirm what you were saying. And that counterpoint is you're saying that you're okay with spending $3 more on the name brand coffee mug because you already know that just overall and in general, you already know that you spend very little money. And so you're not worried about spending $3 extra on the name brand coffee mug, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's like the whole thing about not worrying. Like, I mean, that's also part of like what my dad's thing is. Like, he's like, I know that if like our car breaks down, I'm not gonna have to look for the money to repair it. But he's not gonna like not repair it and put duct tape on it. That's because that is worrying about money.
Okay, I like that. Good illustration. I think it's a good stopping point. Good advice. Everyone out there,
save your money, you fucks.
Thanks for listening.
There you go. That's John's advice.
Hey, head to me and btc.com. Seriously, guys, leave a comment. Tell us what you think about saving money. Tell us what you think about credit cards and credit card rewards. Tell us what you think about car registration and liberty. Completely serious. I want to know all of that from you guys. Me and btc.com. This was episode 127. I think we're good to call it here. Thanks, guys. Peace. And we're back to regular, so we will see you next Thursday. One last thing I just remembered, which I don't always say, but I should. The music that you're hearing right now is from Jon Stewart. Thanks a lot, John. Peace, everyone. Until next time.
Bye.